Okay, so something came in the mail today, and because I wasn't really anticipating to do cross-stitch collection outside of what I got at the retreat, but so a couple months ago, I had bought from Live and Dye LA some fabric, and it was so long ago I didn't even remember what I got, and so I thought it was going to come, and then it never came, and I kind of forgot about it. But then I'm thinking, if I am remembering or maybe misremembering, it might have said pre-order. So they did a special ice out, and this is Lugana, which is 32 count, and I'd gotten Lugana from them before that's very similar in color to this. This is sort of like a blue violet, and it looks a lot like the Winter in My Heart, which I'm stitching. That's one of their fabrics that I'm stitching the Festive Forest on. And this, let's take a corner out of the bag. This is a mottled light blue, but it has these violet mottles that you can see, and it's hard to see in this camera. Yeah, it kind of depends on how I shift the fabric, and it almost matches their violet, lilac color bag. So loving on this. Also, they had ice out flosses. This was a special promotion, and so how could I not? And then they also had, I thought they had some Barbie fabric, but this is Pretty in Pink, which might have been related to the Barbie fabric. And just look at the dyeing. I mean, usually Luganas just do not take up color, but this is just terrific. And it came with Pretty in Pink floss too. So anyway, love it. And I'm stitching stuff. This is very similar. This color is very similar to Mystic Fabrics Cotton Candy, which was a fabric of the month last year. And I am happy to have some more of this, and it's 32 count Lugana. And even though my eyes can handle 20 count Aida, and they can handle 36 count linen, and without straining my eyes, 38 and 40 counts are a bridge too far. But anyway, I really enjoy stitching on Lugana. I just don't enjoy that some of the colors aren't as vibrant as linen. So I tend to go, okay, what's in my range, and then what colors do I enjoy? So, okay, I really don't want to buy more fabric for a while because the white dresser's beyond exploding. And the kitted up stuff are all in banker boxes in the room with the white dresser, but not in the white dresser. So, yeah, there's a lot. And I've reached my sable stash accumulated beyond life expectancy. I'm close. Okay. I'm going to be stitching for the next 30 years. I've got at least 30 years of stuff to do. And so anyway, especially if I do some of the things I want to do, I make it for a gift, and then I want to make one for me. So I'm thinking that maybe I need to shift away from doing gifts, but there's so many gifts to give. So anyway, I got to go. I'm not late for what I got to do next, but I was wanting to get some coffee, and that's usually a line. So I might be a minute or two late, but that's okay. People kind of wander into that second activity. So, all right. This is part of the larger video. Okay. Got the Max. Willow jumped down. Oh, she's down on the floor going, what's all the stuff? Because I have all of the stuff ready to do some some beach retreat filming. So yeah. Oh boy, look at Willow. She is under that chair. She's all ready to watch stuff. Max is all ready to see what she's up to doing. There's Willow. Okay, this is your kitty preview, and I'm gonna stop this now and try to get organized. I think I have everything from the beach retreat, but there's a lot of stuff, and I didn't want to do some overlapping stuff with what I did for the 1120 crafters. So gotta do the beach retreat and then pause and then do 1120 crafters. So see you in a few minutes. Max is right underneath the camera. Maybe nope, his tail's too high. So, all right, this is Robin, the generous stitcher. I don't know why I should say this, because this is going to be spliced into other video. So anyway, I wanted to show the things I got at the quilt shop in, which is the Centered Diamond quilt shop in Cannon Beach during the beach retreat. I'm doing this a little bit separate because I have to go see my mom and my sister today, and that means taking their stuff, and I don't have time to do the rest of my video because I'm supposed to be somewhere in less than 30 minutes. So not at their house, but somewhere else on the way. So anyway, so I got, it's rabbit hole time. I got colorful sashiko, which is 49 vibrant designs. And so I had actually had a pattern that kind of mimicked some of this in a cross stitch. And I had actually used something like this design in a cross stitch that I designed myself years ago. And so anyway, all sorts of stuff. And so they had several books on sashiko at their store. And I also know Pioneer Quilts in Milwaukee, Oregon has, floss. They had at Center Diamond, they had the special flosses. I've bought 2 spools of those flosses. So I'd like to do something with it that's sort of Christmassy for one of them because of the colors of the floss. The other one I think is purple, so we'll see what happens. So lots of fun things to do. And I'll talk a bit more about some of the sashiko stuff at the at Cynthia's a Bend when I talk about the Bend retreat. The beach retreat, of course, first thing, and then we'll go into the Bend retreat. So, okay, I also bought some of these Wonder Clips because people have given these to me as a present, and I thought, well, I have a lot of my friends who use these, so if I have little things I want to give people, I just don't, I'm not normally in stores where they have these, so I picked some up for future use. All right, and then the reason, and I also picked up they had like a dog person and they had a cat person. It kind of looks like Max, especially the eyes. That's Max. So, except his eyes are a little bit more amber with turquoise around the center near the pupil because of his mama. You know, Siamese don't have pigment in their eyes. That's why they're blue. They're reflecting the blue wavelength, just like water reflects blue wavelength. All right, so I got, this is a kind of a remnant piece. It's got whales on it. This is for my friend Linda, because she likes whales as well as squirrels. So then I got this lap quilt floor pillow pattern for my sister. Maybe she and my mom can do it, or she can pay somebody to do it. I'm not doing it. But I almost feel like I should save that for Christmas, but I wanted to give this to them now. I'm going to see them later this afternoon, and you know, it's Mother's Day, so I can just say, hey, these are Mother's Day gifts. I never give them Mother's Day gifts, really. I mean, I did a long time ago when the kids were small and when I was closer to my mom. But yeah. And then I got this one for my mom. So this is a tea towel, or what we call them in my house, kitchen towels. And this is a clean house is a sign of a broken sewing machine. So that is, yeah, on the back it has a little logo, and it says, only the best tea towel for you, my dear, not to do the dishes, just for pretty. Who has time to cook? Let's call for takeout and have another glass of wine. So that's kind of me. Although in terms of the who has time to do stuff, because I don't. But I do kind of like cooking. I just don't like all the food prep and all the cleanup. But I like the recipes and figuring out what foods are going to go in the recipe, and then actually doing the cooking part of it. So, all right. So that's it for Center Diamond. And like I say, this will be spliced in with other portions. All right. Hey, Max, you gonna play with the bag? Nope. You gonna be shy? Okay. It's right here. It's playing with a project bag. I don't really like the light. Turn on, there's his tail actually went across the screen, but it didn't hit the camera. So let me turn on the light. Okay, yes, get some food, Max. All right, that's slightly better. Move it here. I don't like the idea that this part of my face is lit and the other is dark. That's a little bit more even, maybe. Maybe not. Meanwhile, I'm using, gosh, it's dark on this side. Weird. Okay, maybe I'll just need to, I do not like, I'm giving up. Oh, and here's Max. I knew you'd come back, my boy. Yes, he's such a big boy. You're gonna fall off the table, honey. I got like zero room for kitties there. Big boy. All right, so he's got to sniff all the stuff. So this is the beach retreat recap. Boy, Max wishes he doesn't wish he could. He doesn't like traveling. Willow, she's fine. Max, he doesn't like it that much. So, all right, beach retreat. I'm sure there's more stuff. The other thing that I'm missing is my Acorns and Threads sweatshirt that I got, and I can't remember if I showed that in the last video. I'll have to check, but I think what I'm going to do is film the beach retreat, then get the hoodie out of the closet, put it on so you can see it all. I think I did show it already, my last video. It's, you know, it's kind of warm in the house, and I'm not really interested in showing it at the moment. Okay, so what should I show you? So there was one thing that I did bring to the beach retreat that was very handy, is we got as swag at the Pinwis these snap sort of project bag tray things, and this matched my my Acorns and Threads hoodie, which I did show it in my last video, sure. So I brought this, and I found it really, I don't normally have like a stitch mat or something, but I found this really helpful. There have been times we've gotten some other like smaller trays to put our cell phone, and they're magnetized, so you put your needles and your scissors in there so they don't wander off. And so I bought I didn't buy this, I got this at Pinwis in 2025. And so I brought this to the beach retreat, so it just sat in front of me, and then I had my pattern here, and there was a lip so the pattern could stick up, so I didn't necessarily need my pattern rack. Here's Willow. She's got to check it out too. So they had to sniff all the stuff I got when I took it out, and she's hungry. She's going to get her food. Good girl. She was like, took her time jumping. And so, all right, so I'm just going to sort of randomly pull some stuff out. And so we got, as part of our beach retreat swag, we got a project bag, tote bag, which was really nice. It doesn't have any inner pockets or zippers. It's just an empty bag. But it's this Acorns and Threads, and it's blue. And this was really good for especially the last day that Willow's deciding that she's probably going to sit in the tray. Maybe. She's still sniffing. But I could just see her sitting here off camera. So this bag will be available at Acorns and Threads. It just will not be the blue. This blue is for beach retreat only. And so I'm trying to put these things in a way that it doesn't block. Uh-oh, just knocked over the trash can. Hold on. All right. Sorry about that. Now I got little paw prints inside my tray. They're little dusty paw prints. She's right here now. Yeah. Okay, Willow, where are you going to be? You know, walk around? Yeah. It has been a busy, busy weekend, and they are like, we're lonely. We missed you. So, yes, you stay right there, and I will pet you intermittently. Okay? Yes. All right. So, just want to get those dusty paw prints out of this tray that I like to use, and I like to keep it clean because I don't want patterns to be, or projects to be dusty. So this was another beach retreat swag. Acorns and Threads will be selling these these insulated mugs, but the blue is the beach retreat color. They will have other colors at the shop. just kind of picking things up and setting them down. So, all right. One thing that I had wanted to do in my beach retreat was I wanted to start something, because last year I started Flamingos by Art Design as my Sunday morning start, and I decided that was a nice beach retreat tradition to start. And so I was thinking, hey, I'll start jamming the jellies on this Weeks Dye Works Delft Blue. Thought this would be a great color. Well, it's kind of hard to see, and especially Sunday. You know, I went to the beach retreat, I was getting over a cold, I went straight into asthma bronchitis, my voice is almost back to normal. Occasionally it will sound a little squeaky to me, but you know, my brain came back a week ago, so I think a week ago. Yeah, so anyway, maybe not a week ago, but anyway, so I want to stitch this and the Gone Fishing. Oops, that's a whale shark, sorry. Well, I want to stitch this and now the pattern I can't find out of all the patterns in my oops, I'm going to knock some more stuff off the table if I don't watch it. So anyway, that was my plan, was to start this on this Delft Blue, which I guess in this light, with my eyes being more refreshed, I can actually see the threads in it to stitch it and start it. So maybe I will stitch it. I also pulled out from the white dresser just before filming this Lap and Loops Sunken Depths. So I was thinking, this would be easier to stitch on. It's 32 count Lagana, you know, this is 36 count linen, a little bit easier. So, and I had thought about doing Sunken Depths instead of Delft Blue, but you know, the called for was this solid blue, and let me see, that was Sapphire by Fiber on a Whim, and that's what they had for a national release in our store, Acorns and Threads. So I had an opportunity to buy it, but I looked at it and I said, hey, I've got several blues in my stash that would substitute perfectly for this, you know, so I didn't want to spend more. I was already spending money on fabric for the Nashville release. So I ended up doing my Sunday start, and I cannot show you a picture. I'm gonna have to look up the picture, but there was some free patterns, and Blue Flower had a free pattern that she put out, and it is a blue ringed octopus, if I'm remembering correctly, and so that is one of the most deadliest animals of the world, and I had, if I can find it on this big piece of fabric somewhere. Okay, where is it? This fabric is a Fiberlicious Siren's Veil, and it is sort of a Pacific blue. Here it is on this side of the fabric, and this fabric is also stamped with gold flecks on the front side, so you can see some gold right there. There's some gold down here. So I wanted to pick an area that had more gold flecks that you might see, and so then I started stitching with the called for Beneath the Waves collaboration Cottage Garden Threads. I started stitching this green color, which if I can grab a thread pack, the green color is Sea Change. The dark blue color is Mariana, like from the Mariana Trench. The purple violet color is Sizzler. So there's Mariana, there's Sea Change. And then this, this orange is like something citrus. I didn't want to open that thread pack, but I'll open this one that's already opened. Sorry for the crackly. So make sure yeah, citrus. Oh, look at that orange. Whew, can't wait to stitch with that. So, and I ended up buying, I had bought 2 of these thread packs, and then Acorns and Threads was open on Sunday. And so I ended up buying another thread pack. And so now I have 3. And so anyway, I don't know. This Fibrelicious is 32 count linen. I do not know if I have enough of this to stitch a lot of the Beneath the Waves on, but I thought some of the other ones that had a lot of use of the Mariana color, because it's that dark blue, that I would stitch it on this where it would show up better. Like the Whale Shark from Ink Circles, the Gone Fishing from Ink Circles. I think I've mentioned this before. I'm going to stitch Jammin' the Jellies on the lower part, and then the Gone Fishing on the upper part, and then have this a 2-piece, and then frame it and put it in the cat bathroom. And Max is crying. What is the matter, Max? What's the matter? Huh? Can't find your mama? There's your mama. She came running out. So I'm just worrying about him. So, okay, so that's the stitching I did Sunday. Not much of a start, but I started it. I did more than 2 stitches. And so next thing is I stitched, let me go back to my April. So at the beach retreat, I stitched on Liberty Pennies, which I'm going to show for the 1120 Crafter segment that comes after this, because I stitched on it at the 1120 Crafter retreat. So I just want to show the whip one time because I got a lot done. And then on the Friday of the beach retreat, I stitched on the Narwhal Biscornu. And so getting out my Biscornu bag. And so pulling stuff out so you can't see the, yeah. So Narwhal Biscornu, nice beach theme. These really festive narwhals with Santa hats. And I'm stitching this on opalescent white Lugana. And I added, this is like a can't tell exactly what that is, if it's like a sea anemone, but this is some seaweed. This is the belly of one of the narwhal. I think I'd already shown you I completed this side, and when I was stitching this, this green square is supposed to be backstitched, but I got excited and I stitched, and I was in a work meeting where I was just listening, so I was just stitching X's and not paying attention, and then I was like later going, oh shoot. But it's okay. You can do a Biscornu with backstitch or with a cross stitch border. Works the same way, same kind of stitching. It's just stitch that to stitch things together. And so anyway, so that's as far as I've got on that one. I wanted to take nautical themed things to the beach, but I also wanted to take some things that I needed to get some stitching time in. And so this is the normal one was something I did Friday night, and I'm going to show, but after, so I'm going to put some photos in between the beach retreat and the 11/20 Crafter retreat, because I have photos of different things. And so actually thinking about it, I should put the beach retreat photos between the cat segment I did and this one. So you've already figured this out as you're watching this. So one thing that we did Friday night is a group of us went to a whiskey bar, which was right across the street from the resort where the beach retreat was, which was Surf Sand Resort in Cannon Beach. And they had, pretty good food, not very limited menu because they're mostly a bar, but they had whiskey flights. And I'd never done this, but one of my friends wanted to try the whiskeys. So she wanted to try the Scotch. I'm Scots. So I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't mind trying the Scotches. My Scotch experiences are really limited. If I'm going to drink something that's like a whiskey at home, I drink bourbon with Coke. So actually bourbon with cherry Coke. So it's kind of, I forget what those are called, old-fashioned or cosmopolitan. I don't remember. I'm not a big drinker. So anyway, so we went to the whiskey bar, and we she and I each got a flight of whiskeys. So they have 3 whiskeys, and the picture shows these whiskeys and you drink them in the order left to right as you would read them on the screen. And the first one was it had a real Scottish name, and it was the sweetest one. I liked it the best. And then the middle one was not that sweet, and I was like, this, I wouldn't get that again. That was Jura, was the middle one. And then, but I drank most of it. And then the last one, they told us, do not drink this last one first, because it numbs the palate, and then you don't taste the other 3. And so I'm like, okay. And they said it's really medicinal. And the description, they give you a little, liner notes on the alcohol, written descriptions. So I'm reading the written description, and it said, tastes like a burned piece of driftwood. And I'm like, okay, then it's going to have some smoky, I've had wines and things that have smoky. There's some red wines I've had that had kind of almost had a tobacco flavor to it. That's a thing in appreciating alcohol. And so I drank the last one. I didn't drink it. I took a sip, okay? And I was just like, it was horrible. And I was like, okay, I don't know if it's numbing my palate, but it makes me taste a particular thing. And I'm not going to tell you right now what the thing was, but one of our other friends who didn't get a flight of whiskey, she got a cocktail. And so then at the end we're settling up our bill, and I'm still sitting there because I'm not drinking any more of the last one, and I didn't drink any more of the middle one, and I'd already finished the first one, I think. She asked, well, can I try that one, the last one? And I'm like, yeah, but okay, you're warned. Like, okay, yeah, you can try that one, because Lisa kind of liked it, okay? She was the one that got the other flight, and, she kind of liked she liked all three of them, and she kind of liked, I think she liked the middle one the best, but she, you know, she kind of liked, she's like, oh, it's so peaty, it's so mossy. And I'm like, I've been to Scotland and had scotches that tasted kind of peaty and mossy, and that ain't it. Okay, so the third one, I think it's called Arbeck, or Arberg, Arbeck. You'll see most of their labels on the picture, so you can, like, if you really are curious, you can stop the video, screenshot the labels. So if you want to try them yourself, but so Mary Beth takes a sip, and she goes, Band-Aids, and I'm like, yes. And she's like, what? And I'm like, she says, I know you didn't like it, but I didn't hear what you said it tasted like. And I'm like, yes, it tasted like Band-Aids, like medical waste. I don't want to drink this anymore. So I don't know. I've never thought that the peaty, mossy flavors in Scotch related to like flavors of latex. Ugh. Not what I want to drink. Your experience may vary, but I'm just, you know, this was some of the entertainment and fun with friends we had, and then Lisa and I sort of after we finished our we both had a modest dinner of like this wonderful chicken pozole, which is a Mexican soup. It was so delicious. I've had chicken pozole before, and that was really good, and this was really good too. A little bit different seasonings than when I had it. I had it at a Mexican restaurant, or not restaurant, a Mexican wedding in my town, with a wedding that my husband was a co-worker of the bride, and so we were invited to the wedding as guests, and you know, authentic, you know, family-made chicken pozole, as well as a bunch of other food too. but yeah, the bar's pozole probably was not quite as authentic as I would expect. You know, living in a Latino majority town and having been to Mexico a couple times and having had a little bit more exposure to different kinds of Mexican cuisine, but not like a lot. I mean, I'm not like an expert on it, but anyway. So we had our soup, and I think we tried. Mary Beth had, or Mary Lynn, sorry. Mary Lynn had some. She had some brie cheese, so. You know, she didn't eat all the cheese, so I think Lisa and I took a nibble or two of that, and we left Riley's food alone, partly because it had bacon in it. I wouldn't have been able to take a sample of their food, even if they had asked, you know, offered it, which they did not, and that's fine. You have to share your food with me, so unless maybe you're my spouse. But anyway, so that was our Friday night. We came back, and I picked up the Christmas narwhal because I had 2 half stitches to cross. Okay, and so I knew that even if I got kind of tipsy or sloshed at the whiskey bar, I could still come back and just cross those 2 crosses and then call it a night, which I did. Lisa told me the next morning, oh yeah, all that stuff I stitched after you left, after you went back to your hotel room, I had to frog. Yeah, I know how I am under the influence, so I'm not gonna risk my cross stitch by that. So anyway, I have a ton of presents I got from people, and it's kind of gonna be kind of in no particular order. I did mention the puffin pin that was this is a tufted puffin, enamel pin. And it's sort of reflecting my table. And so I'm going to tilt it so you can kind of see it's sort of a dark, like charcoal gray. If kind of a black. Yeah, it's more black, but it's got a lot of reflection in it. So I'm going to figure out, there we go, there. So this was the puffin pin they gave out at the quilt store last year that I didn't get, but they still they bought more for this year. And this year, instead of being open an hour early, they opened an hour and a half early. And so the lines were a lot shorter and quicker, and they were ready for us this year. Last year, I think they weren't ready for us in terms of, they didn't know how much cross stitchers would be there and showing up and buying. And they realized those cross stitchers mean business. They shop. So good for them. We were happy. All right. So then I had a table gift from Sarah and Summer. And Sarah is the mom, Summer's the daughter. And Summer made these bags, which are just little bags. And it's got a couple little, like just a kind of enameled and metal pin. And I was trying to see if there was no, it's just the metal. I was thinking maybe there was a design on it, and then it had a little seashell. And Summer and her mom had matching beach retreat, like cardigan, hoodie kind of things. And inside, oh, there's still one more. Inside was a bag of Chips Ahoy, a little snack size, and then a bag of Nilla wafers. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's like the best thing. I mean, I know my motto is, if it's not chocolate, it's not good enough, but those Nilla wafers hit the spot while I was stitching. And, and they're just a little bit of crumbs you can kind of wipe off on a napkin so that they aren't like messing with your cross stitch. And then there were some Ghirardelli chocolate squares. And this is one I got left. I'm gonna hide. And then some needle threaders. And then there was a pin cushion that they they made, or they didn't make it, and then they put some pins in it that they did make, or at least I think they made this one. This one's just, they might have made this one too. It's like a bead with a couple beads. So anyway, and then there was a matching magnetic needle minder. So I haven't opened those yet, but because I was wanting to show you all everything. And then I got another person at the table gave us these. It was either this was part of the table, what we got at the table, or they gave us, or our table mates gave us one of these. And then when I got up from the table at some point, I think on Saturday, I came back and I had a floss drop with 2026 charm. And this was from Mary Jo, who's on Instagram is MJ Stitcher. So sorry I didn't get to talk to Mary Jo. Let's see. Oh, and the other thing that we got, because we attended the beach retreat, is this crab. And so the Center Diamond Quilt Shop, they had a enamel orange red crab that was their pin for this year, their special pin. So I didn't get one of those because I like the puffin better. And I don't really wear pins, but and as you can see, my Acorns and Threads name tag is getting pretty full. So, and I got into the Beth Twist Lucy Beam. I'm trying to remember what the name of that one. Ocean View is the project name. So we're going to do some project with them. And then that is in June. So it went on sale last week, Acorns and Threads, and I made sure that I told people, oh, I got a phone call I got to make for 10 minutes at this point. So, you know, if you're scheduling me for a meeting, I'm going to be 5 minutes late, I was 4 minutes late. So, and it was fine because my part in that meeting was many minutes after the beginning of the meeting. So I wasn't in trouble. And then, so every time we go to a class in Acorns and Threads, like this one here with the red thread, that was with, I think the Bristol class with Claudia, and here's Willow again, because I got more space that she can walk through, but all the stuff that she's wanting to sniff is still here. And so then, so I'm gonna fill up. I've got and the second class that I got into this week, because it also went on sale this week at Acorns and Threads, is the hands-on design with Kathy Haberman, and that I'm really looking forward to that. The name of the class of the project are 30 Acorns, and we're going to be making some kind of a box, and then there's smalls, and it's going to need some pre-stitching, and that one is the week of July 24th. It's like the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, and the 25th is a Saturday. The 24th is my birthday. So I got into the one that's on my birthday. So I have to take 1 day of vacation, not 2, and have my birthday off, which I don't always get to do. So let me see. Oh, here, this is it. All right. And then there were a number of people there I knew from Zoom or that I've talked to, commented, other Flosstubers. And I did not get to meet Sherry, who's the Colorado cross stitcher. I really did want to meet her, but I didn't, trying to get over being sick, my brain was not always there. And when they introduced her, I couldn't see what she looked like from across the room. And so, and then, I got busy and I kind of forgot to go make a point of corralling somebody and say, what does Sherry look like? And having them point her out to me. I did get to talk to Krista West, who's of Leah Folk Embroidery, because I was asking her about pattern design software, and she had some really great things to tell me, and I followed through with the software designer, and they sent me some updates I needed to be able to work this, and that's on my to-do list, is to get that software, make sure it's up and running, and then start to input some things on it. And I have been doing more research on my sampler, and I'm just about ready to start drawing things that will go into the pattern, and collecting things that are going to inspire my drawing. And I am not an artist professionally. I've never been I've never drawn and sketched things routinely. So this is going to be an artistic endeavor for myself, a lot of growth as an artist. I know in my head what I want this to look like. I have done the research of what different things I'm going to put in it. I'm going to have 28 or 30 individual motifs of the things I'm going to add. Well, actually, that's just the animal parts I'm going to add to it. The plant parts are about a half a dozen or more different plants that are going to go into this sampler, and 3 people. And I have drawings or a photograph of 2 of the people. I need to get a photograph of the other person. And that they're going to be rendered as the people figure in my people figures in my sampler. So that's moving along. I know a couple people I've talked to about it. I've talked to Acorns. I've talked to Acorns and Threads. I've talked to some other designers, and I've talked to other cross stitchers, and they're all like, "Oh my gosh, you got to do this!" And it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of work, but I really, really need to get it done. and so anyway, so that is, sometimes I'm having a lot of issues finding time to stitch and finding energy to stitch, because fighting for democracy is hard work. But it's also, last night I didn't stitch, but I did more research so I could get to a point where I think I've dotted all the I's and crossed the T's, so I can actually start sitting down with pen and paper, start sketching what I want to see in my design, and then importing those into the software and manipulating them in the software. So some of the people, getting back to the beach retreat, Zook Stitches, Carolyn Zook is, which I probably should say Dr. Carolyn Zook, because like me, I'm Dr. Robin Stelkup, and she's Dr. Carolyn Zook, but we're both cross stitchers. And so Carolyn is like, "Hey Robin, you're doing that giant 8-count henny penny. Wouldn't you like some more like 10-count Ada to do more stuffed animals on?" And I'm like, well, actually 11 count. Okay. And I was like, so I couldn't say no. So, well, yeah, it won't be quite as big as the 8-count ones, but it's still pretty big. And I got 3 baby nieces. I got one that's like, let's see, 8-month-old. Gosh, she's smaller than that. No, not 8-month. 6 or 7 months old. Okay, so that's my youngest niece. I got another one that just turned 3. So we are celebrating her birthday today, as well as Mother's Day. And then I've got a 7-year-old niece that got the chicken in the barn that you've seen on my channel, that I'm doing henny penny for right now. So I do have nieces, and I have one nephew who also just turned 3, great nephew. And so I do have other young people in my family I can make stuffed things for. I've got DC superhero patterns that I did for the great nephew's father back when he was the great nephew's age. But the great nephew really, really, really likes motor vehicles. So if I could find some kind of a truck or something, I have to talk to his mom and dad about it. So anyway, yeah, I could probably use this. I really was kind of on the fence about should I take it, should I not, but yeah, I could probably come up with some stuff. And so anyway, Robin, who is Bird's Eye Stitches, was also there with Carolyn. They were on the wait list, and they got in at the last minute. And then Robin was giving out these pens that it's a white card, so it's hard to see, but this is a clear cylinder, and you can unscrew this and put your orts in here and make it a special ort pen. So being pink is one of my signature colors, I took the pink one. So all right, what else did we get? So these were table gifts. Trying to take them out of the bag. Got some beeswax for And I think Riley gave us this really beautiful, I think Riley gave us this really beautiful Cannon Beach sticker. I really like that. Yeah. So I'm going to put him in this other bag for now. And then we got a little tape measure, and I can't remember if Mary Lynn had given us this one, and then this one might have been from Lisa. I meant to write it down, and I asked people twice, but like I say, my brain was not normal at the beach retreat. Some people that know me would say my brain's never normal, and I don't know. It depends on your definition of normal. My 3-year-old great nephew is saying vocabulary words like fictitious, and maybe he knows what he's talking about, and he is looking at words and trying to decipher things to teach himself how to read, and he just turned 3 at the end of March. So my mom said, "Oh, he reminds me so much of you." And I'm like, "Oh God." I hope my nephew and his wife are ready for that. Because if he's anything like me, it's going to be kind of a handful. So anyway, Lisa did this bling. This is a beautiful. It's there. I don't know. Yeah, and then this little acorn. So. Yeah. So, and there's a needle minder in here. And then we got a beach retreat sticker from Acorns and Threads. And so, this one is what the jellyfish went into. And I want to put that jellyfish on something because, Lisa is a dear friend, and I want to keep that in a special spot. So, all right. Okay. And so, Jen, who is sort of a late arrival to the beach retreat, but that's because she flew in from California. She got us this large gift box, and I'm going to take some stuff out of here because some of the stuff we got from Jen and some things that I got from other people. I think that Kleenex was in here. That's from somebody else. Oh my goodness, I never went to the bottom of this bag, and it just seems like it's bottomless here. Oh, I know that was in there. And I know this stuff was in here, but that was from somebody else. Okay, I'm separating it out. So, okay. All right. That was from somebody else. Okay. All right. I think this friction pin was from Jen, because when I realized it was in this bag, I was like, oh my gosh, I've wanted one of these. Thank you. Because I used something like this. It wasn't a friction pin, but it was a other kind of fabric pin when my other friend Lisa from Tigard, she and I were working on the Christmas pears by, what is her name? Annie B's, the pear lady in so many ways. So that was something so inside this bag was some chocolate. I've had this chocolate brand because I belong to Misfit Market, and this is a brand that Misfits markets in their grocery delivery service. So I have tried it, and there's an emery board. There is a face mask for your eyes. So it's like a steam eye mask. So yeah, I think you can, I don't know if you use it more than once, but anyway, never used something like that before, but I probably need to. And then there was a foot mask that was shea butter and just all kind of body self-care. And then I think she had put the Rebel Stitcher, so this was sometimes antisocial, always anti-fascist. And I would say that is me. There's another, oh, there was a sticker in here. So, okay. And then there's some Kleenex, and I already saw that there was the unscented Stitcher's lotion. And then I think this also was in here. I know I put it in her bag. I think, yeah, I think this was this. Yeah, these are like heavy duty thread snips. So, and a nice little bag with a magnetic snap. Nice little bag for scissors like that. This would be an anti-max thing because I could put like the scissor snips in here, snap it up, and he wouldn't see that it's scissors that he can grab hold of the handle and cart off. So good. All right. So that's Jen's bag. While I was going around tables talking to people, I stopped by a table and they were like, oh, hey, Robin, take some stickers. So they were all like mushrooms and fairy kinds of things and some hedgehog things. And I liked the red. So I took a couple of the red ones, and then they were like, take one of these. Like, so I took the hedgehogs, and I was thinking at the time, oh, I'll give this to so-and-so because they like hedgehogs. But now I can't remember who I meant to do that. So if you're one of my friends that I stitch with in person who really likes hedgehogs, this could be in your future, if I can remember who you are. So, because I know several people that like woodland creatures like that. And then there was a woman who came by the table, and she had been at Pinwis, and she had been handing out thread chickens. And gosh, what happened to this? It's like I can't get this bag open. Okay, there, I think I undid it. It's like it got kind of all messed up. So Callie had come and given these out at Pinwis. So when she did that and went past my table, I was like, I don't know, in the bathroom or eating or looking at free stuff or something. I was away from the table, and I came back. It may have been lunchtime. And I came back, and there was this thread chicken sitting on my table. And I'm like, who gave us these? And everybody was like, I don't know, it was just there. So now I actually got to, so I met Callie at the beach retreat. She's like, yeah, I gave these out at Pinwis. And I'm like, oh. And she's like, well, take one if you didn't get one. And I'm like, but I think I got one. But she had a bunch. So she was like, just take one. So anyway, and they squeak. And that's something that we got. And I love playing for thread chicken. And I usually win. Haha. Not all the time, though. So, okay. And then I did win a raffle ticket. So I got $10 of Acorns and Threads cash, which I need to take this with me later on in the month because I'm going to go to at least one of the free stitch days. And then I'll probably want to spend that. And okay, oh, and then I met Sally, who was the winner of the Plum Street Sampler Pattern Winter Blessings, and I was happy to give that to her. I was happy to meet her in person, and she's like, well, you did meet me at the shop, and I'm like, yes, I did. I remember meeting a Sally at the shop. And so anyway, I that was what I did Friday night when I got there, is I kind of wandered around the tables and talked to people that I knew, or introduced myself to people. Someone that I Zoom stitch with, I didn't realize that what their handle was, and then when I saw them, or actually they had made a comment, and then I realized, oh, that's who that is. So then they were at the table next to me, so I went and chatted with them a bit too, and talked to some other people, and so that's always fun. See people you don't always get to see in person, or sometimes you'll stitch with them, once every so often at the shop. And so anyway, Deborah made these, and I don't have a picture of it, but there are these things you can get that are clear plastic squares that are, take the water off my coaster because condensation. So they are the size of coasters, and they are clear plastic. They come apart, and then you can make a fabric or a perforated paper square and stitch something on it, and then make a set of coasters. And one of the people at my table on the Smalls Exchange got hers, and it was like, I don't even know how many of these squares, but like, gosh, maybe 20 of them or something. It was a huge amount of coasters. And she had done all different kinds of little teeny motifs in the coaster, like a flower, a mushroom, a bird, like different things. I mean, way more than 60 by 60 stitches, or 50 by 50 in terms of all those little things she did, because I swear she did about 20 of these coasters. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this would be great for me to do for myself, because this is a coaster that has pansies on it that I got back in the 90s from my parents, and one of them actually got used so much. Gosh, and these are Pimpernel made in England. Huh. So, and they're just like, cork and this kind of, this is a sticker on top of some cork board. But like I say, they're really old, and one of them actually fell apart and I threw it away. So I need some more coasters, and I think I might have some more in this drawer, but sorry, my throat's got scratchy. But I'm thinking I could make a bunch of pansies on little either perforated paper squares or some very some very thin fabric, like a piece of linen, or maybe even try it with some Aida, because I think she did all of hers on perforated paper. But yeah, and so get a pack of those and make myself some pansy coasters. So then I have some newer pansy coasters that won't be falling apart and won't look like they're ancient. So thank you, Deborah, because that was really cool. And I said that to her because I was like, oh my gosh, So anyway, she was selling for $5 these thread rippers, and this one was, let's do this before my anxiety kicks in. Now, yeah, these little letters aren't really wanting to. That's probably better. So anyway, yeah, I like this because I don't get a lot of anxiety. And I always tell people I don't have panic attacks. I don't get anxiety attacks unless I have something that's super anxiety provoking, like a job interview or a scary medical procedure. You know, things that any normal person who doesn't suffer from anxiety would experience, because I don't tend to suffer from anxiety, unlike other people that I know. I totally understand people that have panic attacks. Well, I can't say I totally understand, but I have people who are close in my life who have panic attacks and anxiety issues, and so that's not me. But I liked it. I thought it was funny. And so, all right, was there any other things? All right, now I'm going to finish this up with the final whip. Oh, and also when I was in Acorns and Threads, I picked up some of this Mermaid by Weeks Dye Works just because I go to the flosses because I'm missing a particular floss. I picked some up, or I picked up I had Riley check their app, their Notion app, and we come up with some substitutes for this sort of out of print, unavailable Gentle Arts sampler thread Harvest Moon, which I have not been able to find anywhere. Not that I've looked everywhere, but can't find it at 2 different shops, and not sure. There's a couple other places that I probably looked, and maybe I haven't seen it there either. But yeah, 3 shops. I checked 3 shops. And so anyway, there's some substitutes. So I will show the substitute I bought in the 1120 Crafter. All right, my goodness, this is just an hour on the beach retreat. Okay, the final thing that I worked on is the Henny Penny, because I did want to get some stitching in on that. So Henny Penny, and I really need to spend more time on this, but it's like I'm thinking about, oh my gosh, it's already May 9th, and what am I going to finish this month, and how much do I need to work on it? So, you know, the chicken's legs are finally kind of coming into, you know, yeah, kind of finally coming into being. So got to work on this more, especially if I've got pre-stitching for the summer retreats. It's like I've got to finish this in time for Christmas. You know, you can't tell an 8-year-old, oh, I'm not done with your Christmas present yet. That's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So, all right. Whoa, okay. All right, now I'm going to take just a brief break in this video and talk about the 1120 Crafter Retreat. Oh, and while I'm ending this, I have showed this like Twilight something. This was something that my sister wanted to do, but then she got panic attacks over it, so I finished it for her. And in the gloom is a deer. She wants me to add, she got her Bigfoot pillow for Mother's Day. She wants me to add over here, spying on the deer, or maybe over here, either side, she wants me to add a figure of Bigfoot scoping the deer out. And I'm like, I can do that. It won't get done this year. It'll get done in 27. But I can add it. And there are enough I mean, I do have a number of stampery stitches, but I also have little Bigfoot type things, not as many as her, but a couple. So, and I've got at least one book or two on Bigfoot, so I can sketch a little Bigfoot figure and then decide where to place it in that pattern. So then she will have a Bigfoot stalking deer cross stitch that she will frame and put in her Bigfoot themed bathroom. So I have the cat bathroom, she has the Bigfoot bathroom. All right, next segment is the 1120 crafters. Okay, just gonna fiddle with this again a little bit. I was like, wait, is that, I can never tell, is that actually not crooked? So, all right, so the first thing I'm going to show you is the whip that I worked on. This 1120 Crafter Retreat had a pattern and a project, and I did do some stitching on it, but then I basically stitched a thread, and then I set it down and I worked on something that I really, really want to finish. This is what I should finish this month, because this is for Pinwis. Oh, and I love this fabric. This is one of their limited editions, Atomic Ranch. It's a faded black. It's 20 count Aida. I love 20 count Aida. It is perfect. It is Aida, so it's super easy to stitch on. You know, Jolynn, who is the finisher for Acorns and Threads for years, she is the OG. She's the original Aida gangster. And she has a group of girlfriends, and they are the Aida gangsters. And I've told her, yeah, you're onto something there. I like stitching on all of it. I do really enjoy Lugana. But this 20 count Aida, it's like the stitches are so tiny. And I don't know how best to, there, you can kind of see the stitches. Also, I've got new glasses, so it's like, I'm like, how do I switch? Oh, yeah, it's, yeah, okay, I can kind of, I'm looking through one of these two bottom trifocals. They're brand new, and I'm like, oh crap, I'm gonna have a hard time seeing my feet, because when I'm looking down, I have to tilt my head down even more to be able to see my feet in focus, which is, that's for me is kind of a tripping hazard if I can't see my feet. So anyway, so this is the Liberty Pennies, and it is by Hands-On Design, and it is with this called for specialty threads, and this is, so I got the bottom flowers down here. Let me see, 1, 2, yep, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've got the bottom flowers. I've got this this Eve or whatever this is basket, and I'm working on this little house thingy, and these white things are done, and I started working on I think it's this flower right there, and so I'm working my way up. Started in the middle, working my way up, spreading out, and so this is what I am doing for Pinwis. Okay, my silly phone just said, oh, you're at 20% of your battery. So we got a little present from one of the 1120 crafters, a little Ort boat, which I thought was beautiful. And here is everyone who attended. There were 18, and then Linda Van Osdell, who's Van. She was the main designer, along with Katie Fellows, who's the owner of Cynthia's of Bend. Katie and Van are both multi-crafters. In fact, I talked to Katie because she does sashiko, and I bought that book. And so we got a little box of, or not box, a little bag of candies, which I haven't even looked at. Oops, there they all fall. And then the stitcher who gave us the Ort boat also, or maybe it was a different stitcher. There was a stitcher that had patriotic fobs, and here's Max right at, that's why. There's one of these. He wants to take it and chew on it. And sorry, Max, you can't have that. No, no. Oh, and he's got really dirty paws, and I'm worried he's going to stand on something. Okay. I'm going to move that down. Move that down there so you can't step on it. And then I also brought a bunch of spring colored flosses that were part of a gift for every stitcher who was there in my bowl. And I did this at their fall retreat. I did fall colors. Everybody really liked it. And they thought, hey, why don't you bring some spring ones? I think the spring ones are a little less well received, so I'll have to come up with something. There's Max. Have to come up with something. Yes, I love you, boy. Come up with something a little different next time. So, and this smells like lavender because this is a lavender sachet that was the project. It came in a plastic paper bag, and with some fresh greenery, which is no longer so fresh. So something to make you smile, and I'm going to throw out the greenery now. And so came with some DMC flosses for the project. That's not all the DMC flosses, I think. Is it? Yeah, just 3 colors. Yeah, simple design. And we got a little hoop to stitch it in. And we got a lavender sachet from Van's Garden. This is actual lavender from Oregon, Central Oregon. And yeah, so 3 colors, which is, and this is DMC 210 is this lighter color, and 211, which is a related color to it, is was in my spring selections, which I've stitched so many things with 211 and 210. And then we got some floss drops with some lavender and 2026 on it to go with our kit. And then another stitcher made us little fobs with our initial on it. And then we have all the stuff to finish this. So there was some double-sided, this is like basting tape or something. This is to help make the hem that we need to make, and then around the top is this purple ribbon. And so let me show you what, oh, and we got a needle. Oh, I knew there was, no, that's right. That's the right amount. Okay. So what Van had done for us and Katie had done for us, Katie had seen these bags, these little bags in Portugal. And so they thought, well, let's make a little sachet bag with the lavender. And they, Krista West lives in Sisters, Oregon, which is right next to Bend. And so Cynthia's a Bend is in Bend, Oregon. And so they made, this is my start, Krista West sourced them some ground cloth, and this is 30 count ground cloth, and neutral. I don't know what the I was trying to see. Oh, it's Helvetica fabric, and so this is 2/2, and let's see, yeah. So like I showed you the fabric, I showed you the strands of DMC using 2/2, and the ribbon, which is a 9-inch piece, and 2/3 of a cup of lavender, and the casing for the casing for the lavender. And so then the this is for the pouch, and so one side is the bird and the lavender, and the other one is it says lavender and the bird, and then this border. And so what I was stitching on was the border. And so in the photos that I have for this, besides showing you the pizza that I ate at Paisano's wood-fired pizza, I show you a picture of the two patterns, like the finished pouches, and then I also show, before I started stitching, how I folded this in half, and they said start your stitches a 1.5 inches from the bottom, and then so I have I have this folded. I have it still in this case. I still have some pins in it. Actually, that's my needle, but I put some pins so I had a nice good crease here at the bottom, and then I'm stitching in hand one side, and then when I'm done with that, I'll stitch in hand on the other side and have it start at the same point. And so so you saw a picture of me preparing to put stitches in this, and then Linda also made us a little. This is a wrap for the sachet, so you can put this. You can put this wrap around the sachet, and there's an L for lavender. It's not an L for Linda. So anyway, and it's 2 colors: the darker purple and the dark green. So that is what I got at the 11/20 Crafter Retreat. They feed you, and it's simple, but it's sandwiches for the spring retreat, and the October retreat they gave us. Katie made some Costco chicken noodle soup in a big crock pot, and they always give you tons of snacks. Like I took extra Doritos for the car ride home, and then while we were, and they gave us tons of candy, and there's bagels and donuts and fruit, and maybe there was some jerky. I didn't eat any of that. I just remember somebody saying that. Maybe I'm thinking about something else I was at. And then you have your lunch, and then we all take a picture of the group after lunch, and then we get back to stitching. And at one point, around 2, and this retreat goes until 5, I leave. Especially, I had an issue with my glasses that I hadn't received yet, but the old glasses, the coating had been eaten off by the hard water at my house, and so I was not feeling safe driving in the dark with those glasses before I got the new pair. And So I left at 4 so I would have daylight driving home. And so like at 2 o'clock, Katie comes around and she goes, "Everybody want a creamsicle?" And so we had orange creamsicles. So yeah, lots of food, lots of snacks, and like I say, I didn't feel bad taking extra Doritos home with me. And then those Doritos, what was bad, they ended up being my dinner that night. So anyway, that was 1120 Crafter Retreat. The 1120 Crafter Cross Stitch Club is on Cynthia's of Ben's website. Oh my goodness, and I forgot to show you all the haul from the shop. Hold on. Okay, so Katie had been to Nashville, and she brought back a bunch of stuff. And so I got some orange velveteen. This is Lady Dot Creates, and you know what? I thought I got a ton of Halloween patterns. Eventually, I'm gonna need to fully finish them. So I could probably use this, or I could give it to a finisher and say, "Here's this for that piece." So. And then she had some extras of different patterns. I didn't get any of the extras of the patterns that she brought into the stitch space, into the classroom space, but I did get a bunch of different floss packs and that's something. And I think I got some Happily Ever After floss pack. Not that I am doing any of those things if this went with a pattern, but you know, I always like to pick up specialty flosses that are limited edition. And I got some more. This is Lady Dot Creates again. This was a exclusive trim packages. So this is vintage rayon twill tape. So, and again, Halloween colors, because I thought, hey, you know, I got like a bajillion Halloween things, so why don't I get some? And there were some patriotic pins that she had extras of. And then this is gold leaf, which is a possible substitution for Harvest Moon. They're both gentle arts, and I really was planning to I wanted to finish kitting up the particular thing that needed Harvest Moon, and I couldn't find it. So now I can actually, that's not going to stop me from working on that piece. So then the other thing I discovered while I was at the shop is Katie does sashiko, and she has 2 or 3 different types of sashiko needles and different sizes. And this is the one that had the most different sizes of needles, and this one is a really long needle. There was another pack that she said that she sold that had a short needle and this long one, and so I bought the long ones because I thought this long one is just big enough that I could use it to finish smaller biscornus, because I don't have a doll needle to do that work. And I haven't wanted to spend the time to find a doll hospital shop that I could buy it at. So anyway, and then of course I Murder in the Garden Hands-on Design. It said there was probable cause. And so anyway, this was done on milk chocolate linen, fabrics by Stephanie, which, you know, I kind of like that color. But I might have something else to do it on, because, and I thought that this pattern was sort of a limited release, because I thought it was something to do with a charity piece, but I could be wrong. that's something I heard on Flosstube about this particular pattern. So when I saw it, I was like, okay, I've always wanted it, yoink, and so I've got it now. And then she had Lap and Loop's Crypt Cloth, which is a neutral with sort of a chocolatey model. Not too different from some of the hot chocolate, hot chocolate material that was Fabrics by Stephanie. Although this particular thing looks, in that light, looks a lot more yellowy. But when I've seen it on Flosstubes, it's a lot closer to this. But anyway, this is 32 count Lap and Loops. I can see 36 count great, but 32 is sometimes easier to stitch on. And so this could be, these two could go together. Not entirely decided yet, but so those are the cool stuff that I found. And Katie and Bill do not want to compete with Janine at Acorns and Threads, but they do want to offer good products for their customers. And I have found stuff there that could be the same as at Janine's, or some stuff that's not at Janine's, or stuff if I'm over there and I'm at a retreat, I'm like, wait a minute, I need something of this and this, these flosses that maybe Janine was sold out of the week before when I was at Acorns and Threads, so I can pick them up there. And I'm supporting local businesses owned by women in the state of Oregon. And that's part of what we need to do, is support our local businesses, not the billionaires. And so anyway, I'm kind of putting things randomly back, which is probably not a good thing, but I wanted to so anyway, I'm going to be putting all this stuff away. I'm going to be tossing this formerly lovely bag from the retreat, now that you've seen it, and posting this video, gosh, maybe tonight. It is Mother's Day, and we have done all of our celebrating. I've had a really busy weekend. I may, it's 6 o'clock, I may not edit this tonight. I may just stitch, because I have not had a moment to myself all weekend long. And work comes early tomorrow morning. So anyway, thank you for watching, and like, comment, subscribe, and build your communities, enjoy your stitching, enjoy your crafts and art. And I will, gosh, what week is it? This week is actually, if I'm counting correctly, it is my, yes, because I was walking the block to get out the vote instead of doing Zoom Stitch on Tuesday. So this video will be for the second week of the month, which is a normal Flosstube release for me. And then we'll have our normal release like the week before the Memorial Day weekend, which will be the 4th. Gosh, I'm kind of busy that week. I've got like stuff happening, work being done on the house. Oh, and then I'm giving a statewide training. Yeah, it's going to be a busy week, but we'll do the Flosstube, and hopefully I will have stitching to show you, and not any more haul, because I've shown you all the stuff I've bought, and I have not bought anything tangible other than spaces and classes this week. So I don't expect to get any more packages in the mail related to cross stitch, unless someone is randomly sending me something, which that doesn't happen. So anyway, hopefully back to more normally scheduled Flosstubes, And I don't have any more retreats except for the spring mingle next, is that next weekend? Oh gosh, it is. That was the thing. I was like quintuple booked for that week, and I was telling my I was telling my sister-in-law that I'm not going to be at Emma's birthday party because we celebrated today, but because I was like, I'm at least quadruple booked for this week, and I said, but my spouse is going to her birthday party. He'll be at the party, and so, and they know how busy I am, so they're like, yeah, we're happy to see you anytime, but yeah, you've got a lot to do, and keep doing what you're doing. It's like, okay, don't want to upset family members too much. So, but anyway, yeah, okay, yeah, I think I will like work on my sampler or probably stitch. I need to stitch. I need to finish a finish for May. So I think I should take the next 3-4 hours and do that. It won't be finished, but it'll be closer. So, all right. See you later.